This is a little bit information about me, my demo lesson for you. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 2 reading techniques. These reading techniques are about skimming and scanning. Now these are very valuable reading techniques. The first one would be skimming. Now skimming is reading a little bit about something. You're not reading the entire article. Okay, let's say you have a news article or something, and you just want the idea of what it's about. So what you'll do is you won't read the whole article. You'll just read like the first paragraph and the last or the first sentence and the last sentence of each paragraph. So it gives you an idea of what the article or story is about. That way you don't have to spend all of your time reading this, this really long article. The other technique is called scanning. Now scanning is when you really want to just find specific information, like say dates, or a specific place, or say instructions or something. You don't really need to read an entire article. That's where these strategies come into play. Now I have a video that I'm going to show you that explains a little bit more, and you can read as the speaker illustrates. Okay, so let's watch the video here.
In the IELTS reading test, you not only have to understand the text, but you have to show you understand by answering specific questions and finding specific details. Some questions and question types are easier than others. All of the questions in the IELTS test require similar skills. One skill that all IELTS candidates should be good at is skimming and scanning. These skills are usually thought of as one skill, but they are a little different. Skimming means looking over a text to identify keywords, important points, and repeated information. This would include titles, subtitles, first and last paragraphs. Scanning refers to looking for specific information, such as names, numbers, places, or dates. If you know that the answer to a question is a number, you don't need to read the whole text. Just scan the text and look for all the numbers. Which number refers to the answer of your question? In addition to skimming and scanning for information, students should also know where to look for answers to questions. Most IELTS reading test texts contain about 800 words, but you don't have to read the whole text to find the answer to each question.
All right. So just like the gentleman was talking about in the video, a little strategy for IELTS test, like he said, and like I said, is that even if you have a long text, you don't have to read the entire thing. You can just read a little bit, like in skimming. And so let's take a look at this article here. Now, we have this wonderfully beautiful woman right here. And she obviously is a very important person. What I want you to do is when you're thinking about information and you're reading, you want to get an idea of what this article is about. So what you'll do is, for skimming, you'll go here and you'll look. You don't have to read the entire thing. All you have to do is read, say, the first sentence and the last sentence of each paragraph. Now, when we talk about scanning, all right, and I'm going to cut the light back on for you so you can see my wonderfully handsome face. Okay, so basically, when you go to just scan for information, what you want to do is think of a tree. Okay, a tree, if you look at a tree has this big center, right? Has this huge center, and then you have these branches. And off of the branches become little branches. The reason I say think of a tree is when you go to scan something, you look at the big parts first. These are pictures and headings. And so, as an example, in this article, let me get the lights for you one more time. In this article, I want you to look, and I want you to scan for some information. The information I want you to find is how to avoid stained teeth. I avoid stained teeth by drinking my coffee quickly. All you had to do was look up here, right? You look here big. All right, the best anti-aging secrets. Okay, big. We have a big picture, right? And then we also have these headings. So you're going to look at the biggest parts first. You look at here. And you look here and, oh, look right here. I avoid stained teeth by drinking my coffee quickly. You didn't have to read the entire thing. You just went, boom, right here. Right? And then you went to the picture, and then you went here. If it had not been here, the next step would have been to go to these other smaller headings. Now, here's a very, very good example of the tree. Start big. Okay, start big with your core, right? Start big. So big, we have contents, reality, discovery. These are big. Now you have the other branches, right? So you have the core, and then you have your branches and the little branches. So we start with the big, with the core. Contents, reality, discovery. Then we look at now, problem, solution, alignment, audit, analysis. So what I want you to do is I want you to tell me what page audit is on. Audit is on page 46. Exactly. If you can read it, that would be the people in the front. People in the front can probably read it. People in the back should be looking at the monitors. Okay? And it's page 46. So we looked at the big parts, right? Contents, reality, discovery. Okay. So these two here, that's not audit. Where's audit? Because we all have this huge database of information, pictures in our heads of things like table of contents, newspaper articles, magazine articles, stories on the internet, books. There are certain things that we look for, and we are automatically drawn to those parts. Okay? And so when I said audit, you automatically are thinking, okay, I'm looking for audit. You're scanning for information. You're scanning for audit. So you find audit, I want to know what page it's on. Oh, well look here. I go to the little branches, and I see page 46. Here's another thing. I want you to think of that database. This is a newspaper. Now I want you to tell me, when was it published? It was published on Saturday and Sunday, March 7th through 8th, 2009. Saturday, Sunday, it's a weekend edition, March 7th and 8th, 2009. The reason you know is because this is a newspaper. in your database, okay, I see that. I see that, and it is a newspaper. In a newspaper, all right, the date or when something is published is either here or here or here. It's usually in the upper right or upper left corners, or dead center, just above the headlines. And that's exactly where it is. So when you're thinking about skimming and scanning, obviously we're scanning for something. We're scanning for a number, a date. You're not going to look for words. You're going to look for numbers, because I said date. Now, let's watch one more video. Okay, this is the one that started. And this one has pictures.
Scanning and skimming. When reading online, it can take plenty of time to find relevant information. You will also find you have a lot of notes from school and a lot to read. This will leave you no time for the rest of the day to have some fun and relax. Scanning and skimming are great tricks to get the best info in the quickest time. Let's see how it works. Scanning is looking for specific information in a text. The first step is to read across the text quickly until you find the content you are looking for. Use clues on the page, like headings, titles, to help you narrow down your search. Start by thinking up or writing down some questions that you want to answer. This focuses your mind. Skimming is to obtain the overall sense of a piece of text. The first step is to read the title, subtitle, and subheading to find out what the text is about. Then look at illustrations and diagrams to give you further information about the text surrounding the illustration. Read the first and last sentence of each paragraph. This will give you an idea of what the text contains and whether it is relevant to your research.
Okay, just like the lady mentioned, she said exactly what I did. Okay, the lady said exactly what I did, was that when you skim, all right, when you skim for information, you just read the first and the last sentence of each paragraph. But when we scan, we look for something specific. Think tree. Always think tree. Core, branches, little branches. Okay, so when she was talking about the scanning, she said, look at the headings, right? We look at the headings like in a table of contents, all right? So now, what I want you to do is I want you to go to the table of contents in our textbook. It's on page 28, all right? And to my interview people, I'm going to just flash up here the PDF of the page. On page 28 in our textbook, there is a chart much like Wikipedia. And there's all this information about Korea. We have the capital. Everyone knows the capital is Seoul. So we have government type, we have legislature, establishment, area, population, GDP, HDI, currency, time zone, drives on the right, ISO, internet, calling code, and the mobile system. In regards to the world, okay, what is the population? What is the population of Korea? In terms of the world, where is it? What place? It's the 24th largest population in the world. Place. It is the 24th largest population in the world. So that's a lot of people. Tell me, what is the 2010 estimate of people in Korea?
48, 875, 000, 875, 875, 100.
I know in Korea, English numbers can be a little tricky, a little difficult, but what you will find is that it's really, really easy. The trick is this little mark here. I forgot what it's called in Korean, but it's a comma. And all you will do is each place 1, 2, 3. That's it. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. Much like Korea, we deal with places. So we have, let's see, you have the ones place, you have the 10, sheep, you have 100, bag, 1,000, chun, and 10,000, man. So we have bag, chun, man. Okay. Now, if you look here at this slide, I have, and this goes from, remember, the statistic was 48 million, right? So 4, 8, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, million. So we start with 1, 10 sheep, 100 bag, thousands chun, 10,000 man. Okay? Now, I don't know past this. Chun, man, I don't know. Okay? But anyway, or maybe it's beg man, whatever. Anyway, so we have million, 100,000, 10,000, 1,000, 100, 10, 1. And again, look, 1, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. You only have to deal with threes. 1, 10, 100. Okay? And just think, chun, 1,000. Man, 10,000. Okay? 1, 10, 100. I hope it was not that long and not boring or too boring. I am hoping that you feel as though I will be the person you want at your university. I believe I can be, and it's up to you to decide. So, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I hope to maybe meet you in person. Thank you.